Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing great. Today I came up with one real-time project. This project will help us to set up monitoring. This monitoring setup can be done for any of the organizations. What is the step involved for this monitoring setup? I will explain each steps one by one. So this project will help us to implement monitoring setup for a organization using open source tools like Prometheus, Grafana, Alert Manager. These Prometheus, Grafana, and Alert Managers are monitoring components which is open source, means it is freely available in the market to use. Nowadays, lot of companies are using these open source tools. So, being a DevOps engineer, how exactly we can set up everything in single click or using single Ansible playbooks, how it can be implemented. Today, we will be learning all these practical implementation steps. So, what are the steps involved for this project? The first step is install Prometheus on target system, install Grafana on target system, install Node Exporter for exposing system data. So Node Exporter is like a data collector which will collect all the system level data. If I talk about system data, what kind of data it will be? It can be CPU related metrics, it can be your disk related information, it can be all connection related informations, it can be the kernel level parameters, lot of stuff related to our systems. Everything can be exposed using Node Exporter. We'll be installing Alert Manager. Alert Manager is one of the component is used to generate alert. So in organization nowadays we are using PagerDuty. PagerDuty is an organization which helps us to get call on our phones when there is some alert or some issues in our system, like our disk is utilized 90%. So if we have set up alert manager in our system, it will trigger a alert and call the person who is assigned on call during that time. So PagerDuty is one of the most used tool in DevOps nowadays. Similar way, Slack is a communication channel which we use in organizations. So you will get alerts in your Slack channel as well. Similar way, you can configure Teams channel and many other communication channels can be used to get the alerts. Now, these all things can be installed without creating service of it. What I mean, you have to make a service in your Linux boxes. That means even your system is restarted, the service will automatically come up. So everything will be implementing in our system in form of service. Now, this complete project we are going to build on Amazon machine. So what we will be doing in Amazon, we will be creating two systems. One system will be our Ansible controller machine and one more system which will be acting as a target system in our organization. So from the Ansible controller, we will trigger our Ansible playbook which will do all the monitoring setup in the target system, and then we can visualize or we can see that these all tools which I have installed in the target system is working as expected or not. So let us begin creating our AWS EC2 machine. So this is our AWS dashboard. Suppose if you are very new to AWS, I'll show you how exactly even to log into the system. So let me share you. So here you will get the option sign into console or log back in. So I'm clicking on this button. Then it's asking my root user. So I'll put my root user. Now it's asking for the password. So I'm using the saved password in my browser. Now I can log in into AWS dashboard. Here you can see what all services recently I have visited in AWS. But suppose you are very new, so you will not get this recently visited tab. So you have to click on this AWS icon, and in the search button, there is a service in AWS that is called EC2. What is EC2? it is a virtual server in cloud. Like you can create servers in cloud. So this EC2 I am going inside. Now in my system you can see instances running is 1. Here you can click and you can launch your instances. So what we have to do, we have to assign the name or tag of our system. So suppose I am telling name of my system like AWS Ansible lab setup. Now, how many number of machines you want to create? So suppose I want to create 2 machines. One machine I will be using for Ansible controller and another machine I will be using for setting up our monitoring. So number of instances is 2. Now, what we will do? We'll go down. This is the recent Amazon machine image which is selected by default and it's open source. Let us use the same machine. If you want to choose different machine, it's fine, you can do, but let us use the default one. Now, these are the instance type or free tier only I am selecting. Now, this is very important section, key pair. So what is key pair? You can use a key pair to securely connect to your instance, ensure that you have access to the selected key pair before you launch the instance. So generally what we have to do, create a new key pair if you are creating it first time. So once you create the new key pair, you will get the option to create it and then you can click on the create button. You will be able to download that key. But in my case, the key pair already I created previously, which is already downloaded in my system. So what I'll do, I'll just select my key pair. So this is the key pair which I have created. Yes, AWS key. So I am selecting that key pair. Now, this network section is very important section. What we are doing, we have to select the firewall or security groups. Generally, what exactly security group is, on a high level, I will tell who all you want to allow to come inside your EC2 machines and who all you want to allow to go outside of your AWS machine. So security group will generally make sure that no any unauthorized person is coming inside our systems, able to see our data, and even security group will make sure that from your AWS instance, you are not going to outside world if you want to do. So those kind of security settings can be done in an organization. We generally make our system very secure. But since this is a lab exercise, let us create a security group which will be bit flexible and that will allow a lot of connections to come inside our systems and go outside of our machine. So I am clicking on create security group option and then I am allowing SSH traffic from anywhere. Means any people from the outside world can connect to this system. That's it. This is the default settings. Now storage, everything is okay. Now I'm clicking on launch instance button. So once I create on the launch instance, you can see security group has been created and 2 machines have been created here. Now you can see 2 machines are in the pending state. Now let us do one thing. Let us go to one of the system and click on security options. So for us, we have to make sure that inbound means who all will be coming inside the systems, and outbound means what all connections can go outside of this system. So for us, our inbound rule need to be modified because right now it is only allowing port 22 from anywhere, but we want to allow all other ports because for our monitoring, we might need many other TCP ports as well. So we'll click on this inbound rules and we can click on edit inbound rules, and here we can add inbound rules. And since this is our lab exercise, we can use all TCP port. This is not allowed in our organizations. You have to explicitly specify the port numbers, but here since it's a normal lab exercise, let us select all TCP port and then just save the rule. It is telling CIDR block like which all you want to allow. I am allowing all the IP addresses and then I am saving this rule. So now this security group is updated. Now go to EC2 dashboard. You have these machines, these two machines which we have created recently is running. So these two machine is running. Now what we have to do, you will get a IP address assigned to your machine. So what we'll do here, we'll change the tag. This machine I will make as a Ansible controller machine, and this machine is maybe as a node. Just as a tag I am attaching these tags to this system. These systems which we have created, these machines can be created using Terraform also. So Terraform videos are also getting uploaded in our YouTube channel. You can go through those Terraform exercises. But since right now we are learning Ansible, so in this section I am showing you how to create it manually. Now these two machines tag I have assigned. What we can do, how to log in inside the system. So click on the public IP, get the public IP of this machine, and here you will see the connect option, right? Select it and then you can get the SSH client connectivity. So what it is telling, open SSH client, locate the private key file. So private key already I have downloaded in my system. Now it is telling to change the permission of the key. So key is already there. I am just doing chmod 400, this AWS PEM key in my system. So permission is changed for it. Now there is a way, either you can use the IP address or this public DNS of the system. Our example like SSH, I means your identity key. This is my PEM key file name. And then the user is EC2-user. And this is your FQDN, like fully qualified domain name. You can use this FQDN or you can use the IP address. Let us use the IP address. Why to use this FQDN? So let us go and get this public IP. So what we will do, SSH, I'll show you, SSH-I, your PEM key name. So PEM key, and then the user which is in the target system is EC2-user @ your public IP. So I am getting connected now. Let us see. So you can see I am already connected to my EC2 machine. Now, suppose if you want to make this machine as a controller machine, so you have to install Ansible. What I am doing, yum install Ansible-y. So it is what error I got. Let us see. You need to be root to perform this command. What is root? Root is the admin account in Linux boxes. So how to log into root? Sudo su root. Now let us run the same command again. So you can see I got a message. Ansible is available in Amazon Linux extra topic Ansible 2, and since this is Amazon Linux, it has given us the command actually. So sudo Amazon Linux extras install Ansible 2. So just run the same command which is displayed here. Okay, so it's asking me for yes or no. I am making it yes. Okay, so Ansible is installed in the system. How I can check that? Ansible -version maybe. Sorry, Ansible -version. So you can see Ansible is already installed and the version of Ansible is 2.9.23. So our Ansible setup is done. Now, in the previous lectures of Ansible, we have seen how to make passwordless connectivity between one system to other system. So what we will do, we'll go to our Ansible controller machine. From this machine, what I want to do, I want to make the connectivity to node machine, this node machine. So what will be the way? I will explain you the high level way. Let us do one thing. Let us connect to the node machine from here. So first let us get the IP address of node machine. This is public IP of node machine. So SSH-I, PEM key name, then EC2-user @ your public key. So here I am connected to my node machine. Let us do one thing. To avoid any confusion, let us set both the machine names itself in the command prompt. So what is the command? Host name ctl set-host host name, and your host name. Suppose this is node. So node 1 I can put. So now when you will exit and log in again, you will see this is my node 1. Similar way, I can set up the another machine here as a controller machine, but I have already set up it as a controller machine. So I will not run the steps again, but you can run it something like hostname, CTL, set hostname, and then your controller name, whatever the name you want to set. So now these two machines are ready. One machine is Ansible controller machine and one machine is Ansible node. Now what I want to do, I want to make the passwordless connectivity between our controller machine and our node machine. So what you have to do, I want to make this passwordless connectivity between root user, since root is the authorized user to do any installation. So what you have to do, you have to go to cd/root.ssh folder. Here you see if idrsa.pub key is available, it is fine. But in case suppose in your system it's not available, then what you have to do, ssh-keygen. Suppose in my system it's available, but I am removing these keys to make sure that I am creating the new key. So I have removed these two keys. Now let us generate. So suppose your system you don't have the key. So my location is /root/.ssh. Here what I have to do, ssh-keygen, press enter, again press enter, press enter, press enter, and your key should be generated. Let us see. So you can see now IDRSA pub key is generated. Just copy the content of this key. This is the content. Now go to your node 1. This is my node 1. Let me change the color so that it will be easy for us to see it in the proper. So node color I have changed that as a green color. Now here also go to the folder /root.ssh, and here in this system there is a file called authorized keys. Go inside this, go in the last line, and then copy the key from your controller machine. So this is the key which I have shown you. Now just I am copying this key and pasting in this file and then saving the file. Now I am changing the permission of this file. So chmod 600 and file name is authorized keys. What is 600? So 600 is read and write permission for this user, and this 00 means these others and groups, any group is not having any permissions for this key, because key is really very sensitive. Similarly, go one back and change the permission of .ssh folder to 700.ssh. 700 means read, write, and execute permission to the user in this system. So now the permission is changed. Now let us do one thing. Let us check the passwordless connectivity between our controller machine and our node 1 machine. So let us go here. This is node 1 machine. Let us copy the IP address of this machine. And let us go here and just do SSH and public IP of the node machine. So let us see. So you can see root@node1. So I was able to connect directly from my Ansible controller machine to my node 1 machine. So now we have two systems. One is Ansible controller machine, another one is Ansible node machine. Now we have to run our playbooks from controller and do all the monitoring setup in node 1. So for this exercise, I'll show you what all code exactly we are using to do this setup. So let me show you the code. So now this code I have opened in my Visual Studio. I'll show you it on the system itself, but in the Visual Studio also, let us see. It will be easy for us to read from here. So let us do. So in the previous lectures, we have discussed about roles. What is exactly role? Role is to organize multiple playbooks and reuse those codes. So here what I have done, I have a roles folder, and in the roles folder, I have created 4 roles for different tasks. What are those roles? Alert manager role, Prometheus node exporter setup, Prometheus setup and Grafana setup. And I have created a simple playbook.yml file which is containing the actual playbook which will be running in our system. So this playbook, let us understand. It is starting with triple hyphen. We already know that any YML file will start with triple hyphen. Here name is not written, but you can leave it or you can write it. Then I am writing hosts. So which all machines I want to run? There is a machine name alert manager, or machine tag will be alert manager. Become yes. Become yes means you are telling that run it as a sudo user. That's why you are using the become keyword. Become user is root user and become method is sudo method I am using to run it. I explained you in the roles lecture that how to call a roles column, and then bottom of it hyphen your role name. Similar way, there is another node exporter, become yes, become user is root and sudo, and then again role name is Prometheus node exporter. Similar way, Prometheus role and Grafana role. So we have 4 roles which we are calling in our playbook.yml file. We will be running playbook.yml file. This will make sure that all these 4 roles are getting called here and it's executed in my target system. Now let us see the content of your roles. There are 4 roles, so see the content of each roles. The first role is alert manager. So what is the content of alert manager? Let us see. We have file section, which I told you. In the file section, all the files which you have to transfer to the target system, you can mention in this file section. Handler sections, we already know what are handlers. Handlers are used to trigger a module or start a module when there is some notify sections. Similar way, you have task, which is the main section of your playbooks, where all the playbooks will be written. Template sections, if you have any Jinja 2 templates which need to be copied to the target system, those we have written in template sections. And where section is containing all the variables. Now let us see what all tasks I have written. So go in the tasks main.yml file. Let us see. So first module is group module. What this group module is doing, I am creating alert manager user group, and this variable I am calling group ID. In the where sections, I'll show you like what all contents are here. Let us see the where section. So group ID is alert manager. Similar way, user ID is alert manager. These are the variables. So now what this module will do, this will create a group in target machine and group name will be alert manager. Similar way, this section will create a username will be alert manager. It will belong to the alert manager group. And then if any comment I want to add to that, so this is a user module which will be creating the user, and then it will associate this user to the group which we have created just above this. Now, third section is unarchive module. We have seen this unarchive module. What this unarchive module is doing, it is downloading the software, downloading the binaries from the target system, and it is untarring or opening, extracting the files in the target destination/temp folder. So what is this? See, GitHub Prometheus Alert Manager download. The version is again the variable which we have defined in this variable sections. So version, then alert manager version, and then the tar file name. So what this unarchive module is doing, it is downloading alert manager and extracting this in the target/temp folder. Then we have copy alert manager executable to bin. So once we have downloaded it in /temp folder, we are moving this alert manager executable to binaries folder. How? So copy module, sources in the temp folder we have extracted alert manager. In the destination we are moving it to user local bin. Owner is again the alert manager, group is the alert manager, and remote source is true. And permissions we are changing to 0755. Now, once copy is done, temp folder is not used anymore because we have copied the temp content to user local bin folder. What I am doing, delete the temp folder content. So I am using the file module, and then I am giving the path, and then I'm telling its state is absent, means whatever the content is inside the temp folder, just clean it. Once cleanup is done, I am creating a directory. Directory is data slash alert manager. Again, owner and group is alert manager itself. Then we are creating a file called etc alert manager, and in this file, this is a config directory we are creating where we'll copy our configuration file. Then we are using a copy module. So here again, copy module, what we are doing, we have role path slash file slash alert manager.yml. I'll show you what is exactly this roles path variable. Then this I am copying inside alert manager.yml file. Now let us go. So once your config file is copied into this alert manager.yml file, what we are doing, we are copying this using the template module, this init.service.j2. What is this? I explained you in the template section. This is just a raw template which will help us to create alert manager.service. So what is content of this init.service.j2? Let us see it in the template section. So init.service.j2 contains our service files, how to create. So what is this? Unit sections. This is default, same for everything. In the description, I am using the variable service name. Service name is already written in our variable where section. Then user, again alert manager, group is again alert manager, which we are calling here, and then execute a start and execute command, which is already written in our variable sections. So same command we are using to execute the alert manager. Now once this is done, then let us move to next. So now this module, template module, will copy the service file to destination etc systemd alert manager.service file, and then I am creating a notify directive which will do system reload, and when this system reload will be called, that will be called in the handler sections. I'll show you how exactly handler will be reloading this service. Now after that, reloading the service, we are using the service module to start alert manager. The last sections using URI module, what I am giving the URL. What is this URL? Localhost colon 9093. 9093 is the port which is used by alert manager in your system. So what I am doing, once alert manager is started, using URI module, I am checking that is this port reachable to us or not. If status code is 200, this means yes, this alert manager is accessible, means our alert manager setup is completed successfully. Now, so I'll show you in the file sections. We have one file, alert manager.yml file. This is the default configuration which I have copied. You can use the same configurations. What is the content of this? This in deep I'll explain you in the monitoring sections when we will start monitoring tools like Prometheus, Grafana, Alert Manager. But as of now, you just copy this file into the YML file. That's it. Our alert manager role is done. Similar way, we have Grafana, Prometheus, and Prometheus node exporter. Let us see Grafana. Again, in the Grafana, we have install Grafana. So we are using the yum module and we are installing Grafana. Then again, Grafana configuration file copy. In the template sections, we have Grafana conf.j2. What is this Grafana conf.j2? This is containing our all the Grafana parameters, like these are the default configurations which generally we get when we install Grafana. So the default settings I am using. So this is our Grafana config file, just using the template module. We are copying it. Once it is copied, we are using the notify directive to restart the Grafana service, Grafana. And then Grafana service we are starting using service module, and again using the URI module we are checking that it is accessible to us or not. But Grafana is using port 3000, so I am defining here 3000 port number. Now Grafana in the handler sections, you see. So handler sections we have used the notify module. Now here we are restarting the Grafana service by listening that notify directive. Now, Grafana variable sections, again, you have only the version variable which I have defined here. Now Grafana is done. Let us see in the Prometheus. So again go to the tasks, and in the Prometheus, again we are creating a group Prometheus, creating the user Prometheus and adding that user to Prometheus group, installing Prometheus binaries from the outside world, and then again using an archive module, I am extracting it. Similar way, copying the config file of Prometheus, which is already kept in files section. This just we are copying, and then once copy is done, we are deleting the temp folders. Then we are creating the Prometheus directory using file module. Then we are again copying the prometheus.yml file which is present in our template sections. You can see you have one for Prometheus service creations, and this is prometheus.yml file settings, which I am already here ready. Now once this is done, then again copying this alert manager rules to the Prometheus alert rules file, and then we are copying the prometheus.service template. We are starting Prometheus service, and again Prometheus is running on port 9090, so we are checking if it is reachable to us or not. So on a high level, you understood how Prometheus setup is done, how alert manager setup done, how Grafana. Similar way, Prometheus node exporter has the tasks where we are downloading, creating the node exporter group, downloading the node exporter binaries, copying the binaries to the correct locations, deleting the temp folder, copying the node exporter config file, and then starting the exporter service, and node exporter runs on port 9100. So I am again checking using the URI module that it's reachable to us or not. So these all four sections of your roles, like these four roles will be uploaded to our GitHub locations where you can just download and run our playbook. So now let us go and do all these stuff practically. So in this sections, here we have to download those code. So what I have done, I have already downloaded this Prometheus with Grafana from our GitHub. The GitHub link I will be giving you in the video link itself. Now, my roles folder is downloaded, playbook.yml file is downloaded, Ansible config readme license inventory. These files are also downloaded, which is available in the GitHub. Now, the most important section is inventory here. So let us see our inventory file. So in the inventory file, we are telling that one section is Prometheus, which machine you want to install Prometheus. For our use case, we are installing Prometheus, Node Exporter, Alert Manager, and Grafana on the same machine. So let us go and get the IP address of your Node 1 and install everything. So this is the IP address. Now, in this inventory file, let us change the IP address to our. So this is our all the same machine which will be having installation of alert manager, Grafana, everything. Now this inventory is updated correctly. Now let us see our playbook.yml file which will be executing. So in this host, I am telling host is alert manager, and in the inventory file we have already created a section for alert manager. Let us see. So here one section is alert manager, which is this IP. Similar way, I am calling another node exporter, and here host is node exporter. Similar way, Prometheus host and Grafana host. Become yes is as a root user or as a sudoers user will be running. The sudo user is root user. The role name is alert manager. For node exporter, the role name is node exporter, Prometheus node exporter role. So all these four roles we are calling, and we are specifying our host, which machines we have to run. Now let us run our playbooks and see how exactly it is working. So our playbook is how to run our playbook, Ansible -playbook -I. Our playbook is in Prometheus with Grafana inventory folder. Inventory file is in this inventory folder. And our playbook is in home EC2 user Prometheus Grafana playbook.yml. So now let us see what happens. As we can see, it was trying to gather fact is okay. Creating alert manager user group, all the steps are now executing here. Let us see how much time it takes to execute the complete playbook. So now Prometheus installation is in progress. We can see total 32 changes has been done and everything is completed successfully. Now let us go to the target system and verify. So systemctl status grafana-server. So you can see Grafana is active running. Let us check Prometheus is running or not. So we can see Prometheus is also running. Let us check alert manager. Alert manager is also running. Now let us see node exporter. So node exporter is also running. Now let us see in the browser that can we open these into our browser or not. So let us go to our browser. http:// and IP address of this machine, public IP. So port of Grafana is 3000. Let us check Grafana is working or not. So we can see Grafana is working. The default username is admin and password is admin. So you can see we can log into, just escape it and log in. So we can go inside the Grafana. We can see Grafana is working fine. Now let us see what is Prometheus port 9090. Let us see Prometheus is working or not. You can see Prometheus is also working fine. We can see the targets registered already. So this machine is already registered. Now let us see about node exporter. So node exporter port is 9100. Let us see node exporter is opening or not. You can see node exporter is coming and you are getting the matrix already collected by your system. So lot of node exporter related data is already coming. So let us see now alert manager is working or not. So 9093 and see it. So you can see our alert manager is also working perfectly. So now our complete installation is done, where you have installed alert manager, installed node exporter, installed Prometheus and installed Grafana. So this is a complete project which in our organizations we can set up using Ansible playbooks. That's it for today. I'll be uploading more projects related to it. Thank you so much guys for giving your valuable time.